All right.
All right. So the big story of the week, this week in sports in general, I think, was of course the Oakland situation. I don't know how close
Mm.
you've been following this situation, but the looks like Oakland is going to lose their last actual major professional sports team. The
Yes.
Raiders left. The Warriors went across the bay, and now
Mhm.
the A's look like they're also going to go to Vegas. I want to say, if any A's fans come across this, I'm from Connecticut. We
Mhm.
lost the Whalers when I was a kid,
Yep.
so I feel you, man. I
Mhm.
completely sympathize with what you're going through.
Yep.
I'm going to do my absolute best to go through sort of my personal emotions with this
Mhm.
because I've actually been to the Oakland Coliseum twice. I've
Mhm.
been to a
Yeah.
Raiders game back when they were the Oakland Raiders, and I've been to an Oakland A's game. I've been to a
Right.
lot of different baseball stadiums. I kind of, no, I don't want to say I know what I'm talking about entirely with the
Right.
situation, but I'll do my best. First of all the criticisms of the stadium being trash are
Yeah.
absolutely true. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
is
never
an
been there. Yeah.
outdated. Yeah, it's an outdated trash ballpark. Like, and this is
Mhm.
not an exaggeration. To get to the ballpark from the
Right.
public transport, you
Mhm.
have to walk on like a skywalk through it. Like, well, it's basically an industrial yard.
Right.
It's not like a nice
What?
area at all. It's gross. It's loud. It's disgusting. It's not like it's not scenic. Well, to put it nicely that way.
Yeah.
Also, the stadium is incredibly outdated as far as the amenities go.
Mhm.
It feels every bit of the 1960s and 70s that it was built in. It just does.
Mhm. Ugh.
Um, yeah, it's definitely trash.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures
Um,
of it now, and it's just
yeah,
yeah.
it's
There's
bad. But I
it's
will
all
say this.
seats.
I will
Yeah.
say this. The fans are badass. Everything you've heard about the
Mhm.
fans is totally badass. I
I
have
love
been,
it.
like I said, I went to a Raiders game there one time, and
Mhm.
like, listen to me. I have been to Mexico City. I've been to Lima. I'm fairly well traveled, and
Yeah.
I can confidently say that the most dangerous place I've ever been in my life is the parking lot of an Oakland Raiders game.
Yeah, that's intense. Yeah. It really matches the name Colosseum, you know? It's like a bunch
Dude,
of angry Romans fighting lions.
it's crazy out. No, yeah, it is. And like the whole thing with the black hole fans, that shit is
Mhm.
real. Those dudes dress up full on like armor and like
Yeah,
spray paint, body paint. It's crazy.
yeah, look
You
like
walk through the
Gwar.
parking. Oh,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And you walk through the
Yeah.
parking lot. All you smell is two things distinctly. You smell
Mhm.
weed and you smell
Mm.
barbecue. It is like,
Right.
again, it's kind of my people.
It's like a Snoop Dogg, it's like a Dr.
Yeah,
Dre video.
yeah.
It's
No, I
awesome.
mean, I again, I get down with the types of people that are in Oakland, and
Yeah.
also too, I'll say this: whenever I travel, I just take whatever clothing I have that sort of matches the color of the team. I just kind of
Yeah.
put that on and go to the
Right.
stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a Raiders game, I just put on like a gray T-shirt, figuring, oh, I'd blend in. Dude, I got
Right.
called the fuck out by those fans. They were like,
Really?
they're like, "Where's your Raiders gear? What are you doing? Well, what's up?" Like, I'm wearing your color. They could sense it that I was an out of towner. So I
It's
I gotta
awesome.
say I
Yeah.
respect the hell out of the Oakland, at least the Raiders fans. I do respect the A's fans too. We're gonna get to that right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so this goes to show you. Now you go to Yankee Stadium a good amount. You know, you and I,
I try to
whatever.
go at least once a year, yeah, if I
Yeah, I
can.
go a few
Yeah.
times. So I was first of all, the Bay, for those of you who've never been, the temperature difference between downtown San Francisco and Oakland
Mhm.
which is or inland is like 30 degrees. I left my
Wow.
hotel in San Francisco, got on the train, it was like 65 and cloudy, wearing a
Mhm.
sweatshirt. I get to Oakland, it's like in the upper 90s and burning hot fucking sun.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah, it's a weird thing if you've never been to that part of the
No.
country. And so I get
No.
there, I sit down. Oh yeah, so I go up to the front of the stadium. I walk through the industrial yard again,
Yeah.
and tell me, as someone who goes to Yankee Stadium, you can cut me off at any time. Tell me the
Mhm.
difference in the experience I'm about to lay out for you. What
Right.
I went through there and what you go through at a Yankee game. All right.
Right.
So I walk up. And I just go up to the box office and I go, "Hey, are there any tickets available?" The dude starts laughing at me. He
Yeah,
starts
okay.
laughing at me,
It's
like
a
as if to
yeah.
say, like, "Yeah, we were fucking with the A's. We don't sell out," that kind of thing. And
Right.
then I'm like, "All right, yeah, I want a ticket for the game." And he goes, "All right, today's tickets range in price from $12 to $65."
Yeah, now wait, that is that just for, like, the upper decks? The upper
That's
decks?
the next thing I asked. I go, 65, what would that get me? $65. Because as you know, parking at Yankee Stadium is like 35, $40. I'm like,
Right.
$65, dude. I sat 4 rows from the Oakland A's dugout for $65. Okay, yeah, it was
You could
awesome.
have played.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
would, well, and that's the thing. They tried to upsell me to like these other seats for like 200 that were like right behind the plate that apparently had like free everything. I was like, nah, I'm just, I don't really care. I'm not really a fan.
Yeah.
I didn't say that part, but
Right.
so I sit there in my seat, and
Mhm.
some woman, this I don't know who this lady is, but if somehow somebody from the A's comes across this, you might know this person. I don't know who this
Right.
person is. This older Asian lady sits down next to me. She goes, "Oh,
Mm.
you're in such and such's seat," and I'm like, "What?" I guess the seat that I had was like part of somebody else's partial season ticket plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then she's like, she starts chatting me up. She's super nice. She starts offering me fresh fruit. And yeah, and then it's also, remember, it's hot as shit that day. They were
Okay.
walking around the stadium giving out sunscreen to people.
Oh, that's awfully decent of them. That's
How
nice.
much, Mike, how much would sunscreen cost at Yankee Stadium if they sold it?
$25 a bottle.
Easily.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like taking in the California vibes, like this is awesome. Somebody just handed me fruit and they
The
gave me
California
sunscreen.
vibes. Yeah. Yeah.
This is incredible. And,
Yeah.
and so I loved it. I had a great
Yeah.
time, man. And so
Yeah.
then the game is gonna start. And you know how in some like football games, like college or NFL, they do like a military flyover.
Yes.
So Oakland didn't do that. They did a police motorcade where a bunch of cops rode around the outfield on ATVs, like to show like
Oh,
cop pride.
yeah.
They
Right.
got booed mercilessly.
They were just making an arrest outside. It's there.
Yeah,
Come on. We need you real
dude, it
quick.
was so like I respect Oakland so hard for booing the shit out of the cop motorcade.
That's
And so like,
amazing.
yeah.
That wouldn't
So
even
that
happen in New York. As much as the problem have had over the years and
yeah.
still have with cops, especially in the Bronx, they don't boo the cops. They cheer them,
No,
which is
we got enough bootlickers who are fans of the Yankees and the
yeah,
Giants and everything. We do,
right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to share that sort of story to show you the kinds of people that go to Raiders and A's games. They're kind of a little more badass than
Yeah.
your average little suit and tie douchebag who sits behind the home plate at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I definitely respect the hell out of that city.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I had a fucking great time both times I went. So let's move on and talk about how I believe that uh, it's gonna fail in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's gonna fail.
Okay.
And just so everyone, like, I'm not trying to jerk myself off too much on the show, but I have a
Right.
degree, and I'm not kidding. I have a
Yeah.
degree in tourism geography,
Oh,
and
ooh,
I
ooh,
also
ooh.
used to work at a casino
Yeah.
hotel. So,
Okay.
like, when it comes to this specific topic, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
so just to give a quick quick little geography lesson, people. So the metro population of Las Vegas is just shy
Mhm.
of 3 mil. The metro population of the Bay Area is just shy of 8 mil. So even
Right.
if you factor in if it's like 2/3 of people will be Giants fans in the Bay Area,
Mhm.
that's still more people that would be A's fans in the Bay Area than if
Right.
almost every single person from Vegas
Yeah.
suddenly became fans, which they're not going to because I don't know if you've ever lived in a tourist city. I used to live in
No.
Orlando. I live in New York now.
Mhm.
Not many people are from that area.
Yeah, we see that in New York too. More now that there's a lot of people from out of town who live in New York and they've become casual Knick fans and they go to games and they're reading books and that's why tickets are even more expensive. But that's a whole nother topic. So I
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
Hey,
Yeah.
no, it don't you know to get personal, okay?
Sorry. But you're an actual local. No, you're Connecticut. That's local. I'm talking about way out of town. They have no
Yeah,
clue about anything.
yeah. Somebody who moved here from
Yeah.
Missouri and is
You're from the tri-state area. Yeah.
yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so, so back to the Vegas
Yeah.
thing. So they're building like a 30,000 seat stadium. At least that's what they're saying. I don't, and which by the way would be tiny for
Yeah. That's very
for
small.
for baseball.
Yeah.
And they're trying to say so. Oh well, even if people aren't really fans, the tourists will go. We're gonna fill it with tourists.
Yeah.
Dude, no, you're not. Okay, you might for like a weekend series against like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Cubs or a
Mhm.
well-traveled national fan base. But if it's a
Right.
Tuesday night game against the I was about to say Indians, the Guardians, the Cleveland
Right. Yeah.
Guardians, or the
Right.
Royals or something, you're not going to be
Yeah.
able to move
Brewers.
30,000
Yeah.
tickets.
No.
Okay, and also the locals aren't even going to go there because
Right.
the strip which is where they want to build it in Las Vegas. That
Right.
is the Times Square of Las Vegas.
Okay.
Like, no, when's the last time you've been to Times Square, Mike? You're a local.
I try to avoid it only because it's way too crowded.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. The locals can't even afford to go because half of them are just hospitality workers anyway. Okay. And
Yeah.
so you're not going to get a local fan base there.
Mm.
You're going to do 30,000 tickets 81 times a year for tourists. That's not going to happen. It's
No,
just not. That's not how that industry works. I'm sorry.
for football and even hockey, the games are spread out enough that it's not like baseball's every night. It's
Hmm?
just about every night. So especially when you're home, you're home for 3 straight nights. If it's a home series, you could be home for 2 weeks and go on the road or whatever. And that might be a lot to ask to fill that stadium night after night. So maybe that's why they're only doing 30,000, because you always hear Yankee Stadium's full
Mm-hmm.
capacity, 50,000. Well,
Yeah.
30,000 is, you're like, that's 20,000 less people that you're not getting to a baseball game.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it's I'm glad you also mentioned the Raiders a second ago because I was going to
Yeah.
bring that up. I'm glad you said that, Mike. A
I
lot
did?
of people are you did.
Okay.
Well, you said football. The thing
Oh, okay. Yeah.
is that football there's either 8 or 9 home games depending on your schedule now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
81 with baseball. There's 10 times the fucking home games.
Yeah.
And so like anybody who tries to say like, "Oh, well it worked for the Raiders." Yeah, because you only have to
Yeah.
fill
Right.
10 Sunday afternoon games.
Right. Not, yeah, not even. Yeah, I guess it's 10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a call. Yeah.
And also too on the
Yeah.
weekends, people will fly out. I mean, it's the Raiders. The Raider
Yeah.
Nation is a real thing. They will fly out from places.
Yeah.
It's a completely different animal. And so anybody who says that, oh, the tourists will fill the state, no, they won't. And here's the thing: even if they do, because again, I used to work at a casino. I know how the sausage is made. What
Mm-hmm.
they'll do is they'll just go to the local casinos and they'll give out tickets and they'll comp people who just lost a bunch of money gambling. Because that's
Yeah.
how they fill hotels, by the way, in a lot of these places. If you lose a bunch of
Yeah.
money gambling, they'll upgrade you to whatever, that sort of thing. And so, yeah, so picture this, Mike. Picture you go to Las Vegas and you lose 6 grand on a slot machine, and then to
Right.
make you feel better, someone hands you an upper deck seat to a last place baseball team.
What? No, I'd rather be taken in the back room and whacked by Joe Pesci or something.
Yeah, that'd be more entertaining than
Stabbed
being
in the neck
fucking
with a pen. Yeah.
handcuffed to a chair and beaten for
Yeah,
fucking 3 hours.
right. Pop your eyeball out. Yeah.
Exactly.
That would
Okay.
be more interesting. Yeah.
And so that's just sort of a brief overview of why it's going to fail there. It is absolutely going to fail. It's going to be hilarious to watch it happen from a distance. It is. I'm sorry.
Right.
I feel bad for the folks in Oakland,
Mhm.
but I don't feel bad for the all the douchebag owners who are helping
Yeah.
get this done. One last note on this too.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, for those of you who don't know climate science at all, it's a desert. It gets
Yes.
really hot there. It's
Yeah.
like triple digits for a lot of the summer. And so this stadium is going to have to be a domed stadium. It's going to
Right.
be like the Trop in, by the way, Tropicana Field in Tampa is the actual worst stadium. The current
Yeah.
Coliseum in Oakland's the second worst. But
Okay. Yeah.
can you think of anything lamer, Mike, than playing
Uh,
81 home games indoors?
uh, playing 81 games in a Costco in
Okay.
in Tropicana. No, I'm trying to make a joke and it was horrible and I'm canceled. No, it's terrible. You have to have some kind of, you can have a dome. It's got to open and close, but they don't have an opening and closing dome, correct?
Well,
It's
they
going to be
don't have a
closed.
stadium yet. So here's the thing. I don't
Oh,
know
right.
this as well as other people who've been. There are
Hmm.
other like channels I've watched and I've read a good amount on this. Apparently, they're trying to build this on like an old hotel site right on the strip. They wouldn't have the space to build any type of dome that would open and close.
Right.
So as of right now, as of this recording, I mean, if they come out with renderings in a couple weeks that are different, obviously I'll eat my words.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be a fixed dome, which is
Yeah.
so tragic. It's just I thought we were done with this in baseball. I thought we were either just going to have
Yeah.
open stadiums or the retractable roof ones. And so it's going to be
Hmm.
probably a bad facility to watch ball in. It's not going to be that much of an upgrade from the Coliseum. Probably it's going to be filled with a bunch of tourists that either just lost money
Hmm.
on gambling, or it's going to be just people who are checking it out casually who are completely apathetic. It's going to be basically all
Yeah.
road games for the home team forever.
It's horrible.
I just
It's
really
horrible.
I don't see this working. I think it's trash. Um, Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
The,
It's garbage.
the argument I was listening on the radio a while
Mhm.
back. Somebody over the summer, and somebody was talking about it's good that they're moving because if you've ever been to Oakland, it's trash and it's crime and blah blah blah. And the radio host was like, "Well, hold on. You're from New York. Have you gone to the Garden? Like, how is it any different of the types of people you could like? He's claiming you have to come across in Oakland. You're gonna come across the same types of people that bother you in that sense. You know, if they're homeless or they're panhandling, whatever it is, or there's crime or somebody sleeping on the street. You get that at the Garden, and the Garden fills that all the time. So it can't be the crime. So the excuse that they're leaving is, oh, Oakland is bad. Well, if you leave, yeah, it's gonna make it worse. Number one,
Yeah.
there's less income coming in, you know. It's gonna it has the feeling of an abandoned city. So not to go all, you know, we're sports, but like that's just bad for the city, the people that don't deserve that. And yeah, you what are you gonna have? Like I'm wondering at Raiders games. I'm sure they have this at Raiders games. They pay people to dress up as the Raiders fans with the costume, and I'm sure there's guys. It's Vegas. It's a showdown. I'm sure they
Mhm.
pay people to do that. So like, what are you gonna do for A's game? Like baseball is pretty much a daily thing. At least with basketball, you got courtside seats. You'll be seen on TV. People will show up. It's Vegas. Look, here's Chris Rock. He just did a show, and now he's at the game. You know, you'll get that with basketball. Football, like you said, is once a week. Hockey is. I don't know anything about hockey. Hockey's its own thing. It's probably they won. They've been great, so it's popular. A buddy of mine moved out to Vegas. I should ask him of what he expects for baseball because what is the surrounding like with Yankees, you have surrounding suburban areas like other major
Well, they're trying to
cities.
put this right on the strip,
Yeah,
which is like right in the main tourist drag.
yeah,
Basically, like I said, it's the equivalent of like putting it like on Hollywood Boulevard or like in Times Square or something.
yeah.
But the thing is, do people really go to Vegas for baseball,
No, they're going to
or
see shows and the gamble. Yeah,
yeah, they go there for hookers and blow? Okay,
that too. Yeah,
and the
yeah.
gamble.
Obviously,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I really just don't see this fitting into the culture of that city, and
yeah,
I just don't see the numbers matching up as somebody who has a pretty good understanding of geography
yeah.
compared to most people.
Hmm.
It just doesn't jive, dude. It just doesn't. And so again, I feel for the fans in Oakland. I really do.
Hmm.
And I think that this is going to go down in history as one of the most epic fails in terms of a team relocation, really in sports history. And I'm calling that now in 2023. I'm
It
going to go on record saying that.
so they're going there because their sports betting is legal now. So it seems to make sense, but in terms of it I feel like it's going to impact the way the game is played because if it goes and it's failing or it's not doing all right away, you know Rob Manfred is going to try to do something ridiculous to make it more cartoonish to get people to go night after night, and that is something we already have a problem with now with baseball. Well, look, some of the changes they made recently with the pitch clock, we all laughed at it. Said, this is stupid. It actually works, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's making them play baseball the old way, which is what we've been fighting for is, 40 something, late 30 something
I'm glad
things.
you mentioned that. Actually, this is kind
Yeah.
of a little tangential topic. You are right, Mike. The
Tangential.
game times now are the same as they were in the 60s and 70s. They kind of went
Right.
up throughout the 90s and 2000s, 2010s,
Hmm.
and so they had to put this artificial cap on it. And now it's the same length they were 50 years ago, which is kind
Yeah.
of interesting, actually.
Yeah. If you play
You
the
know?
game the right way, you wouldn't need all these rules. So even though the rules that are helping, it's like, well, duh, just fix the game the right way, and this would happen. So now you're going to move it to Vegas. Nobody's going to show up. What are they going to have after the first inning? They're going to have everybody plays a slot machine on the big screen, and there's going to be
Dude,
a
yeah,
show in between innings. And
yeah, they're just gonna instead
uh,
of t-shirt cannons, they're just gonna be shooting fucking 8 balls in the crowd. You're gonna have the Rockettes come out and fucking dance and do the high kicks on the infield. See
yeah.
that I would go to, okay? And that
Okay,
actually,
maybe.
if they do that, fuck it, I will eat every one of
Yeah,
the words I just said. Maybe maybe
yeah,
they're because again, if they do try to make it into like a show, that could be kind of fun. But
yeah.
I don't know. Again, I don't think the baseball crowd is down for that sort of thing. As somebody who's from kind of the baseball crowd, so.
It doesn't really as much as baseball needs to be more exciting and attract newer fans. It is a very old traditional game. It doesn't just go with that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's
It's gonna be
foot.
interesting. It's gonna be a clash of cultures.
It's a
I
slow
think you make
paced
a good
game.
point. Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know how you. I don't know what are they going to have like races after the seventh inning of of dead mobsters. I don't know, people instead of the sausage
No,
costumes, it's
no, they're just gonna have three randos from the crowd. They're gonna give them each a bump, and they're just gonna be like run, and then they're all gonna be able
run.
to run faster than they've ever run. I think that's gonna be. We've had enough cocaine jokes for one episode, I think, but
That is true. Yeah.